just going to get this off the record now. I didn't foul out. I know. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's been a while. It's been a little bit.
Indeed. After y'all, I don't know if you were aware, but y'all didn't actually have a basket in the third quarter. But what was just kind of the message going into the fourth, and what changed?
Very abrupt, just in the huddle. I think Coach Nicky, obviously we just weren't ourselves. We looked, in my opinion, dead, like just without any energy, kind of effort, almost just letting them come back in the game. So I think for her, she was like, she literally said in the huddle, are we going to see our team out here? Like, does Baylor want to show up in the fourth quarter? And we were like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, let's get it together. And I think the thing that got us going was defense, obviously.
Yeah, and bringing energy,
Speaking of energy, I mean, in the first half, you actually topped your career high in scoring by halftime. I mean, just what was kind of your mindset when you came on the court?
It's always being ready, like be prepared when she called my name. And I think I played the way I practiced, and I think I've been doing a really good job, like in practice.
How do you stay ready, I guess? Because this same thing came up earlier today when Dale Bonner had a career.
It's always mindset, like staying focused. What do we need in that moment? Like, what do the team need?
Is that a glimpse of what she can do at her best?
Oh gosh, we know what she can do, man. I think, and I feel like you went through this for a little while. I think it's always hard when you get in your head. I did it all last year with certain things because I was just so used to a certain way. I was thinking like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And she's one of the best downhill drivers. Like, it's not like she's going to do anything fancy. She's not going to give you step back between, like she's not going to do all that. But she can get to the basket and she can rebound and she can defend. Like it's just the little things. And I think it was amazing getting to see you like do that tonight because I think that's just a confidence booster. And the deeper we go, like we need literally everything we can get, obviously, with the amount of games that we have to play. So, for sure, more than capable.
Thank you.
Caitlin, when the team is struggling, you didn't play a lot in the third quarter. I guess that's what kept you in. You didn't pick up more fouls. But was that a struggle to stay on the bench for that long?
It's always a struggle. Yeah, I think for me, it's more so just, obviously, been in foul trouble a bunch this year, but I think especially with just such younger players, especially at my position. I mean, you think about it, every single player practically in my position is 3 freshmen and 1 junior, So for me, I think just taking the role of when I can't be on the court or even when I was out at the beginning of the year and couldn't be able to play, like just talking to them. We were heading back from TCU last week and I'm like sitting here like trying to show film of the game we just played. And I'm like, let me see. Like, and I know they probably don't want to watch it right after on a bus ride back. But just being able to be in that mindset because I've know their system, been around so long. So I think it's not terrible, but just like taking that role of like leadership.
You had like 11 in the fourth quarter. When that first 3 went down, did you like know that, okay, I got it, or
I don't know. I heard someone yell 4-3 too, and I shot it. It went in. The second one felt good. I felt good about the second one. I was like, okay, now we're feeling good. But, yeah, kind of just, shot it.
You guys kind of jumped out to a pretty substantial lead. Then Texas Tech went on a run. Then you guys kind of put it to bed. What do you think that says about kind of momentum-wise heading into that matchup with Texas?
It's a game of runs. I mean, we've known that. I think we've become more poised with it. I think earlier in the year we would freak out about it, and Coach Tony would kind of have to calm us down and be like, it's just a run. Like, I think it happened, first time it happened with Kansas, and we're all kind of like, okay, at their place. And I think we've just grown. Maturity has just grown for us and just being poised. I mean, like, we're fine. It's a run. Now let's go on our run,
Is that kind of, Nikki called timeout, and she did not seem very happy. Is that what she said during that timeout?
I think it was just energy. We really were not ourselves. We just weren't defending the way Baylor defends. Like, we just weren't. Don't know what was happening there for a minute, but luckily we came out in the fourth. We came out with new energy, and we were able to get up and start playing.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, ladies.
Razzle.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
What did you say coming in that third quarter timeout?
I actually asked Caitlin. So you're good. I already got the answer.
Hey, at least this time we won't ask you what you said at halftime.
Right, exactly. Take a break in the third. We'll come back for our regularly scheduled programming in the fourth, right?
Well, and you've talked about Caitlin all season long and what a difference she makes, but kind of really was amplified in that fourth quarter, wasn't it?
I'd say. She just broke the ice by making the three on the first possession. I think that immediately after not making a field goal, I really don't think they knew. I think they knew that we weren't good. I don't think they processed that we had not made a field goal. And we had gotten, I thought, when we came out of halftime, first play we ran, Kate had a layup and got called for travel. She probably did. Then she missed the layup on the other side, and then Sarah drove in and had a point-blank layup and missed. So I thought, like, our three first offensive possessions in the third quarter, we got great looks for great players at the rim. And I think if those go, they're kind of in that comfort zone of this is what we do. And I think, they came down and, the other weird part about that quarter is, arguably their two best players go out with foul trouble, and they get better. They played their young guys and they just competed. Freelon really competed on the glass and scored around the rim. And, Lewis that's a tough, you look down, and the fact that she was 3 for 8 sure felt like more. It just felt like it was, and what isn't in the box score is the times that we got in help side and took her away, but then gave up a 3 on the backside. So that's all predicated off of, what she's doing, her work in the paint, forcing us to help. And at times, like, we were able to neutralize her at their place because we put her in ball screens and we attacked her at the offensive end. Therefore, it's just kind of this trade-off. And when you're sometimes trading 3s for 2s or getting easy layups, then it's easy to kind of win that matchup. And I thought today, that third quarter, we absolutely didn't win it.
Bench was good today for you guys.
Yeah. Bugs in the fourth quarter was great. You take Kat's first half and Bugs fourth quarter, and I think you combine those two. And really even Kyla's minutes were good. Like, I took her out because she face planted. I don't know how. I'm not saying the fall didn't hurt. I don't actually think she was hurt, but I think she fell hard. I wouldn't know. I've never fallen from that far up, but I thought, she was able to come in and make a basket. I thought they didn't give the turnover to her. They probably should have on the pass to Sarah that she stepped on the sideline. But we should have never put her in the position to throw it to her that early in the shot clock. In the short corner when she can play around the rim, protect the rim, score around the rim. I think you see what she's capable of being as she learns kind of how to play at this level.
Do you think you guys are playing with some more confidence now that you got those 2 wins under your belt, kind of back on track?
I don't know that I felt that way in the third quarter. So, I think that I didn't even think defensively we were great in the first quarter. I think we were giving up some transition baskets for no reason whatsoever. Against a team that doesn't score a lot in transition typically. And I know that we've got to turn around and play again on Monday. And it would have been great to play and push it out, to have a 10-point lead at halftime and push it out to 15 and 20 and really use your bench, as much as you can, because there is that short turnaround. Obviously, it's a short turnaround for Texas too, but I thought they looked tired. I thought Texas Tech looked tired in the first half, and I didn't think we took advantage of it as much. They played basically an extra game this week because of their 3 overtime and 2 overtime games. Like, to me, you just saw the fatigue, and I think that, I think Bree Amber and Bryn are both battling some injuries as well. I mean, they're gutting it out, but I think they're battling some injuries, and so because of that, I think the added minutes and, we needed to really press it out early, but I didn't feel like we played with a ton of energy until the fourth quarter. I thought we started flying around. We started flying around on the defensive glass. We were better in transition. We were better attacking. We were better making the extra pass. We just suddenly decided to play good offensive basketball in the fourth quarter. And I think if some of those, did we foul on that three-point shot? I don't know. I mean, it looked questionable to me with the shot clock running down. I just thought we had better defensive possessions as the game went along. Yeah, it was fun to watch her in the fourth, for sure. I thought, she had a nice drop-off pass early from Jana, like in transition attack, simple layup. But then sometimes she'll just try to do too much. Sometimes the play is just simple, like just go right up and lay it in. But I thought as the fourth quarter especially, she got some easy ones. And then when you get an easy one or two, then all of a sudden the reverse goes, the up and under goes, because you've seen the ball go through, you've made a couple free throws. And so the one thing about Bugs, it's really special, and Bella's had some great fourth quarters too. But no matter how Bugs has played, whether she's been consistent through the first three, she's never going to stop competing. She's never going to stop playing. And I'm not saying she's not sensitive. They're all a little sensitive. But you can get on her and challenge her. I thought she had given up an offensive rebound on a free throw. And let's be honest, like, that was the difference in the game. Like, that would have been a closer game. We would have been in that thing right to the end if they had made their free throws. Like, they did not make their free throws. And maybe it's because we had the right people at the line. But, we missed a couple of box outs on free throws, and we did against TCU as well. And that hasn't been an Achilles heel of ours this season. So it's something we got to look at and really make sure we understand the importance of it. But I thought, I really challenged her after that one. And then I felt like she got the next, 5 rebounds. They were jamming our rebounders, and we just weren't strong with it. We were pulling it down and getting tied up or lost it a couple times. And, we just got to be a little tougher.
The first half output from Katarina, do you think you put that up more to, the growth that she's exhibiting this point of the season, or do you think it's more of she just needed to start seeing them fall and then they kept coming?
I think it's I think she got basketball is so mental, and you have to prove and practice day in and day out that you deserve opportunity. A lot of times players genuinely think I'm on the team, they should play me. And then if I get to play through some mistakes, you'll see what I can do. That's not the reality. That's not life. You got to prove it day in and day out that you deserve opportunity. And, she probably got opportunity against TCU because Jana had missed 2 straight practices leading up to TCU. And then I thought, she came in, she gave us some good minutes, made a 3. Kat's biggest problem is she struggles with just making simple plays, just moving the ball. You catch it, you don't have to do something every time you touch it. It's okay to just throw it to somebody else and let them do something. And I think that's her biggest challenge, and part of that is probably even more so than high school, because I think high school kids tend to understand that there's a change in level. They still think, obviously things were easy in high school, but I think in junior college, sometimes it's you don't think there's going to be that much of a jump. And, you're someone that's been required to be a playmaker for your team and the primary playmaker for your team for 2 years. And so I think she's struggled with the reads. What is the read? When Kat can rip, straight line, shoot a layup, she's really, really good. And we saw that a lot in September and October. And the more stuff we put in and the more complex we got, the more she started thinking, the more, when help side is really good and you're playing against teams that are going to take charges, she was driving in there and running over people. And she's got to learn to play off too. Drive in there because, it's you're going to know she's out there. That is one thing. You're going to know, good or bad, you're going to know she's out there because she wants to make a play. And her biggest growth will come when she understands that you make a play when you get a closeout. And then if someone helps, you jump stop and make the next pass. And then you space out again. But I thought some of it was opponent today. I know we didn't have a ton of energy, so we went to her for energy. And straight line driving against a team that's tired, is the right thing to do. And I thought it was kind of how they played us, and the help side was not great early, and then it got better as the game went along. Their help side got better. And so I just thought she made a straight line drive and made a layup. And then you have one go in, and then that gives you confidence to make the next one. And she gets fouled, but she just, she'll force passes, she'll force stuff off the bounce because she just wants to make a play. And there's just move the ball. Anyone who hears me on the sideline, I spend a lot of time saying move it, because I think you just gotta. If you really want to break down a team, you just got to move it side to side.
Obviously, go play a tough Texas team on Monday. How much would you all like to kind of spoil they're trying to win a Big 12 championship and stuff?
Sure. I think they're playing to win it outright. At this point, and they were awesome today. I mean, I watched the game pretty much start to finish, and they absolutely dominated a really, really good OU team that had only lost one other time at home, and that was us. And it wasn't just that they beat them; it was how they beat them. And one of the best offenses in the country. I don't remember what the final score was, but it was in the 40s when I stopped watching. So I think I've said this before with Texas. It's like a mental warfare. They're not pressing a lot this year. As much now that we're in conference play. They had pressed a lot before we played them the last time. They didn't press us at all. And they really haven't pressed much since. And so it's all half court. Rory's the head of the snake, and they're going to be physical on every pass and deny every pass. And their help side is probably better than anybody's in the country, maybe them and Duke. And, when I watch games, because of the physicality, because of their rim protection, they've really figured out not having a Rory early and then losing Aaliyah Moore. They've kind of settled into who they are. Taylor Jones is healthy. So, they're like a 3-post-headed monster. And then they can bring in Muhammad if they want a different look. So I think their offensive rebounding percentage is insane. They're similar, maybe not as high as South Carolina's, but sometimes they just need to throw it up there because they're going to get it back, and they're going to get it closer to the basket. And so it's about the paint. It's really about the paint. And can we do a good job on Gonzalez, because she's been fantastic. I haven't voted yet, but I would probably vote her newcomer of the year based on what she's done in conference play. She's been fantastic. She struggled early in the season when she was trying to play the point and Rory was out. But ever since she's moved to the 2, she's offensive rebounding, and she's just really, really good.
She was in foul trouble, but did y'all do anything special on
No, I mean, when you think about, I think 2 of her fouls were just running through screens. And I don't, thankfully we didn't get called for illegal screens for the first time in a month. Because, I think that was a little bit, 2 of them were that. Look, I just think the kid has played a lot of minutes in the last week. And I think I think on the last broadcast they were talking about knee and hamstring. And so, I mean, do I think we were there? Did we with that starting lineup, we switched every ball screen. So we just tried to stay home. I mean, if you were going to beat us, you were going to have to beat us one-on-one, not because we had 2 to the ball, not because, for instance, we get into pick and roll and and Kate gets a roll behind layup or gets fouled on the roll behind. Like, we tried to keep one of us on one of them. And I thought they did a better job in the third quarter of posting Farrell against us, you know, when we would get in those switches. But you know, I just think she's tired. I just think, you know, watching – I never thought I would get done watching their games. The 3 overtime game, I think I got done watching that at like 11:30 last night. I mean, I was tired at the end of that game. And so for them to turn around and be down 4 and win against West Virginia, as much as that was momentum and all of that, it doesn't change what your body's saying, and they're still kids. So, you know, I think we're tired. Like, I'm not going to pretend that we don't feel a little bit of that too, because you're talking about, you know, now 3 games in 8 days, and we had a double overtime game a Saturday ago, and so now it's going to be 4 games in 10 days, and I'm not saying it's any different for Texas. Like, and they play their guys a lot of minutes too. I mean, Rory plays 40. Rory's going to play 40, press for 40, pressure you for 40. Like, her conditioning is special.
I think we had our chances. I think our kids played really, really hard. I thought they came out of the locker room and made some good adjustments, and obviously took the lead and just struggled to keep it. Obviously, Bickle makes a huge difference for them. So when she came back in the game, I definitely thought she took over. And we had 2 critical breakdowns with her on defense, and she made us pay for it, which great players do that, you know. And I think she's done a great job this year of really kind of being. She probably doesn't like me calling her this, but I feel like she's the mother hen of that team, and I mean that in the best way. But she's just done a fantastic job of leading them.
Coach, obviously, you know, Baylor, you know, missed a few bunnies in that third quarter too. But what does it say about your defense that you didn't give up a basket in the whole quarter?
Yeah, I thought our kids really understood what we talked about at halftime. It's probably the best adjustment they've made this year on defense for us. And I think we made them take more contested shots, you know. So I thought that our defense really stepped up in the third quarter, and it was nice to see that, and especially with a lot of young kids, because we were playing without some key players on the floor in the second half.
Do you have any other questions for the media in the room before we move on? Coach, the only other one we have is 2 games left before the Big 12 tournament. What do you need to do to get into a good direction, have a little momentum going into Kansas City, and hopefully March after that?
Yeah, clearly you need a win. I mean, wins cure everything, right? So, you know, go back home and protect our home court against TCU. They're playing really well. You know, I think they're super hungry, and they've been in every ball game, so that's going to be difficult for us. And then go to Iowa State, and you know, that's a tough ending to the conference play. But again, you know, every game I think is winnable, and our kids will continue to fight.
Anything else, guys? All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank y'all.